Today we're gonna talk about evaluation design. We are Maria Camila Álvarez, Ángela Vélez, Angie Caicedo, and Catherine Vargas. First, we're gonna begin with some background we found about evaluation design. Classical Theorist Rationalist by Taylor. This theory analyzes the production process in order to increase efficiency and productivity, developing techniques and methods to normalize production through the decomposition of complex tasks into a set of simple tasks. Next, we have the theory of relations human by May and Lewin. This theory says that productivity with the mood of the workers. It tries to interpret changes in the context and business, discovering the meaning of certain social processes and studying in depth the influence of workplace productivity and accidents. Finally, we have theories of the organization as an open system and environment. This theory says that the organization is a system that interacts with the environment and proposes different elements, having each a minimum of cooperation to achieve common goals. So, what is it? It is a detailed planning of the evaluation. It builds on the evaluation context to specifically identify practices, processes, timing, and responsibilities for completing an evaluation. The design will depend on the evaluation context documented by the evaluation team, time constraints, existing information, and the sources available. The evaluation design strongest consists of a combination of experimental and non experimental methods. So, the gathered information in research shows that evaluation context will use both existing and new information in the assessment of a project or program. It shows as well that defining the evaluation context will determine the evaluation type or combination of types required and the methods needed. And it also shows that it is most likely that a combination of methods will mean a mix of qualitative and quantitative information that will be analyzed, which is often referred to as a mixed method approach to evaluation, and combination of both sets of informations may lead to a richer base of evaluative information. So what type of designs do we have? There's four types of research designs that offer suitable options depending on your specific needs and research questions. There's the pre-experimental designs. Pre-experiments are the simplest form of research design. In a pre-experiment, either a single group or multiple groups are observed subsequent to some agent or treatment presumed to cause a change. Then there's the experimental designs that refer to how participants are allocated to different conditions in an experiment. We have the quasi-experimental designs, specifically lack the element of random assignment to treatment or control. A quasi-experimental study simply means participants are not randomly assigned. And then we have the ex post facto designs that is a form of quasi-experimental study examining how an independent variable presented prior to the study in the participant affects a dependent variable. How can we decide which design to use? Relevant criteria when considering the design of an evaluation are relevance to the evaluation purpose, cost effectiveness, validity of the information, ethical issues around the information that is to be used, and which design will provide me with the information I want. Then there's the evaluation plan. An evaluation plan should be developed to outline and map the requirements and implementations of each evaluation process. It provides the detail of responsibilities, timing, and processes for the evaluation team, and so should be carefully managed. The plan should be regularly reviewed and adapted where necessary to reflect changes to projects or programs. Where changes occur, efficient distribution of the revised plan and communication changes in responsibility or timing should be highlighted. And regular team meetings where issues or problems can be addressed will support effective evaluation process. The type of evaluation will determine the lines of evidence, including constraints that will need to be sourced for the evaluation. Evaluating work performance. Performance evaluation is an important issue for companies and for workers because it helps people do their jobs better and it identifies training and education needs. It also assigns people to work they can do well, and it maintains fairness in salaries, benefits, promotion, hiring, and firing. How do organizational psychologists help evaluate work performance? They help by identifying the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other qualities necessary for performance. It creates standards for performance, what is acceptable or good or excellent. It also has trained supervisors that will observe, evaluate performance accurately, focus on only job relevant issues, and study why and how rating errors happen. So, the exercise we present now is evaluating your boss. You will have to think about your boss and the thing he or she does at work. On a blank piece of paper, choose one or two dimensions of work performance from the following list: training others, planning work for others, assigning tasks to others, scheduling people, or observing others. Next, for each area or dimension you have chosen, write three sentences. Sentence A: give an example of very poor performance in this area. Sentence B: give an example of acceptable performance in this area. Sentence C: give an example of excellent performance in this area. Make a rating scale from 1 to 5, where 1 corresponds to sentence A, 3 to sentence B, and 5 to sentence C. As a conclusion, using your example statements as a guide, make rating of your boss on the scale you designed. In an actual work setting, organizational psychologists would spend much time and effort with workers and supervisors to make sure that all of the performance areas made sense for the job being rated, all of the example statements fit the areas, and all of the scale values were fair.